My name is Frances Toney, and this is my functional therapy presentation. I decided to do my functional therapy activity with daily routines. Schedules are great for people with dementia as it can help reduce agitation and improve mood. It can also give them a sense of security because they know what is happening and when, and it can also orient them throughout the day. So routines can also be detrimental to someone with dementia if the activities listed in their schedule is not geared towards them. We've talked a little bit about this in class and also read an article that discussed how activities need to be meaningful towards patient to ensure that they participate in them. So to do this, you need to get to know your patient. Ask them or a family member what their routine was like prior to the deficit. What do they like? What do they dislike? What time of day do they function best? Do they have issues with sundowning? These are things that we need to ask prior to making the schedule so that we can ensure optimal results. And we need to be flexible, allow for spontaneity, because there are going to be things that pop up that are not going to be on the schedule that the patient may like. They may have a family member coming to visit them or take them out for a special occasion. And so this is where I have decided to focus my therapy, is to help patient with dementia remember that there is going to be a change in their daily routine. So there are many goals that you could target while using this daily routine activity. You could target sequencing, problem solving, and several others, but I am choosing to target memory. So here in the slide I have wrote out 2 goals that are related to memory. If you'd like to read them, you can pause the video now. To target my goal of memory, I've decided to use the spaced retrieval approach. The spaced retrieval approach can be used with a variety of people with GDS levels 2 through 5 and helps a person with dementia successfully remember information for expanding time intervals. This approach can be used to learn and remember new information, but it can also be used to teach the patient how to use external aids. I read an article in which the authors used spaced retrieval with external aids when teaching compensatory strategies for swallowing, and they were actually very successful. And while my activity differs from swallowing strategies, the concept of using spaced retrieval with external aids is the same, and I'll go into this a little bit more later on. So how do I apply the spaced retrieval for targeting memory and helping my patient learn schedule changes? So days leading up to the change, I would tell my patient that a new activity is occurring. For this example, the patient's wife is visiting on Wednesday at 1 p.m. So I would tell the patient that, and then I would ask what is happening on Wednesday. If the patient responds correctly, I will ask the question again in 15 seconds. If they respond correctly again, then I would do 30 seconds, and then 1 minute, and etc. And keep expanding that time. If the patient answers incorrectly, I would tell them the right answer, have them repeat it back, and then repeat that time interval again. So you can make this task easier by using graphic cues with either words or pictures or both, just depending on the cognitive ability of your patient. So when you are asking what is happening on Wednesday at 1 p.m. and they're unable to answer, you could hold up a graphic cue of the answer. So for this example, I would hold up a note card saying your wife is visiting at 1 p.m. You could also hold up a picture of the wife as well. If the patient is unable to recall the specific activity or the event, you could use the spaced retrieval approach to teach them how to refer to their weekly calendar. So as I stated earlier, the spaced retrieval approach can help to teach new information, like a change in the schedule, but can also teach how to refer to a visual aid. So even though things on the calendar may change, the act of looking at the calendar would not. So it would be easier for them to remember to look at the calendar than to remember the activity that is not usual to their schedule. So you would say, what is happening on Wednesday at 1 p.m. And instead of him remembering that his wife is coming, he would remember to look at his calendar and be able to see what is happening and when. You need to place this sort of stuff, like the calendar, somewhere where the patient can see it regularly. And I would also use something that's like maybe dry erase or something that's laminated, so it could be reused and you could make changes as needed. To make this task harder, you could have your patient remember more than one aspect of their schedule. So for instance, you could maybe start with their morning routine. So when are they supposed to wake up or eat breakfast? This could also lead into targeting activities of daily living that are included on the daily schedule. So like brushing their teeth or dressing themselves. You could use spatial retrieval approach to teach them how to refer to the visual in their bathroom on how to brush their teeth. So like something similar to what is placed here. Or you could teach them how to use the visual next to their closet or dresser on how to dress themselves. You could really expand a lot on this activity, or you could keep it very simple. So an example of a daily note for my patient could be instructed patient in use of spatial retrieval technique to facilitate memory of daily schedule. And if you needed to simplify the activity because it was too demanding for the patient and you had to add in the graphic cues to refer to the calendar, the daily note could look more like this. Facilitated spatial retrieval activity to enhance use of graphic reminder of patient's schedule. And here are the references that I used.